Hey y'all, welcome to the Honesty Circle, the safe space to discuss growing in adulthood, mental health, faith, and all the things in between. It's your host, Sierra Elise, and I hope you're taking care of not only your mental and spiritual, but your emotional and physical health so you can be your best self this week. Hey y'all, welcome back to the episode of the Honesty Circle. It is me, your host, Sierra Elise, and we have a lovely special guest here, obviously, Zeke, my lovely co-host. But today's episode, we'll be talking about not just maintaining friendships, but also how to grow friendships. I talk about this with my friends a lot. Most of us are obviously like around the same age, and we always feel that like adulthood can feel so isolating. Like, you live by yourself, you are trying to grow your independence, you might be losing friends, you might be living in a new city where you don't have many friends, and there's so many things that all those factors play into feeling that you really don't have a community, or that what your community once was is now changing. So even if it's not an exact, I'm no longer, even if it's not an exact, like, I'm losing your friends, but it's just like it's not in the same exact way as when you were in college or even in high school or any time else in your life. And the thing about it though is like we're not meant to do this thing alone. And while you're growing independence, it's also important just to still grow your community, because that is what you'll need more and more as you get older. Like, you don't know it all, you don't have it all, but you don't have to know it all or have to do it all yourself. That's the point of community. So you have people to celebrate the good days, but also have people who can lift you up on the bad days and everything that happens in life in between. And so I just want to talk about kind of how you can start to like establish really and find community if you don't feel that you have it. Now, like I said, I say it's episode, I'm not an expert. I'm not like the queen of friendships, but what I do know is that it takes intentionality to develop friendships, and it does take something on your side to kind of open yourself up to it. So, like I said, we're not meant to do this thing alone. And I don't know if you guys know the creator, Jayla and Diana. They are both like kind of family TikTokers, like, and creators, and they have built a beautiful, like, they are best friends. And Diana made a video about kind of like their origin story and how she was going on her first brand trip, and Jayla was going, and they're kind of mutuals, but she kind of just talks more. Definitely go listen to it. But she just talks about how their friendship developed, and they're in their 20s, right? Like, I think we forget, or we always think that friendships stop in childhood, but really you need your adult tribe, you need your adult people, your adult community, and it might look different from when you were a child, but it's still important nonetheless. And I use that example because they didn't know each other before this kind of moment in their life right now, and now they're both very intentional. They're happy to have each other, and I think it's just a beautiful thing to witness as someone who is also an adult. But also think about them, like, they both have kids, both have husbands, and they're still very intentional about their relationship. And that's just beautiful to me, because I think it encourages me, and hopefully encourages you too, that like you can still develop friendships in your adulthood. It's just a matter about how you're going to do it, and making sure you just do it in an authentic way and not just kind of being fake about it. And I think that's a lot of times the fear. You fear, maybe other past relationships that haven't gone well, or it's hard for you to open up to people, it's hard for you to be vulnerable, and it's just don't know where exactly to meet people, because sometimes we're in this world too where people are just me, and how can we go from, how can you enter that space and try to break down those barriers and to really connect with someone, right? And help and not get like scammed, right? I saw everything on TikTok too about how people are like, oh, like, earrings are cute, and like they're trying to talk about a pyramid scheme. But like, we want to be authentic, right? We're not trying to do all that. And so I want to encourage you and remind you that you are deserving of a beautiful friendship. In that video that I talked about, Dayana also said something that I think is important, that if you don't settle in a relationship, why would you settle in a friendship? And that's so key when you think about the friends that you've had that you might want to let go of, or just developing new friendships. Like, you can have a standard on what you would like your friends to be, and not everyone's going to meet that standard, but that's okay. You don't need to settle. You need to change your standard to find someone just off the convenience. Also, it matters too about how I think people run their circles differently. Like, you have your most intimate circle, the outermost, and it kind of goes out in layers, and each layer and each circle gets a different part of you, or a different amount of you, or different, different topics or things that you might be interested in. But I'm going to talk about those close friends that are maybe like not family close, but that you're able to just be open and vulnerable with. And when you think about how to meet friends, I think first we had to talk about how you're going to meet your friends. You have to put yourself in positions to meet friends. You can't just go home, go to work, and not say hi to nobody, not look at anybody, and be on your phone 24/7. I'm sorry, but that, you have to be real with yourself. Like, that's not going to breed new friendships for you. Like I said, breeding and growing friendships is going to require a little give on your part. So, how are you going to position yourself to make friends? That's what we're talking about now. So, it's about where you're positioning yourself, right? One part about positioning yourself could be getting off your phone and saying hi to somebody in a space that you're in, right? If you're a regular at a restaurant and you have a server that you see all the time, don't just sit there and be diddling on your phone. Start a conversation. Like I know that's hard for some people. I kind of break it down. I know I'm coming from it's easy for me to talk to people space. But I also would say I think my job has allowed me to get more comfortable with talking to people, because I think I did it always, but I'm just more comfortable in like talking a little bit more than just saying hi now. But it's okay to just start with the hi, right? I think it's baby steps, but if you're not a person that says hi to someone when you walk past them in your neighborhood or something like that, try small things like that. Just say, oh, hey, how are you? Or like, it's okay to compliment somebody. If you're walking past someone and you're admiring, like, oh gosh, that shirt is fire. Like, oh, your shirt is chef's kiss, like, love it. Or your outfit, you're eating that outfit. There's so many things that you could say to people. And I'm not saying like that all of those are going to develop into friendships. But what I'm saying is that allows you to feel more confident and comfortable with speaking to people that you don't really know yet. And that's the main part of this kind of like space that we're in. Like, a lot of times we're going to be meeting people or connecting with people that you have no previous connection with, and that is okay. It's actually kind of beautiful if you think about it. So it's that. But also it's about like where you're going, right? Like I said, the first positioning yourself and just like opening yourself up to the spaces that are around you that you're currently in. But also, what other spaces can you go in that you might want friends in? Maybe you want fitness friends. You're not going to find fitness friends like, at your house, right? Like, you're not finding friends at your house. But like, there's different ways to find fitness friends. If you want to join a run club, if you want to join a fitness class, or just saying hi to people in the gym. Like, what type of friends are you looking for? Are you looking for friends like that have similar interests as you? And if so, go to the space in which you would find people like that. If you're looking for Christian friends, don't just go to church and on Sunday service and go home and don't speak to anybody. Try to change where you're sitting in church. Don't sit in the same exact seat. Try to go to the small groups. Try to go to Bible study. And when you're going through those spaces, don't just rush to your car after service. Stop and talk to the person next to you. Say, hey, like, that's how you're going to be intentional in just making those small connections. And you would be surprised that those small connections oftentimes turns into those larger, deeper conversations, larger, deeper relationships. But it has to start somewhere. And so where are you going to start? How are you going to start making those friendships? How are you going to start putting yourself in position to meet new people if you're wanting to? Now, if you don't want to meet new people, you're fine with what you have. You're fine going to work, coming home, and that's it. This might not be for you, right? Like, that's okay. But this is for you. So another part too that it's going to take from going from just saying hi to maybe starting a conversation to maybe now you guys are hanging out. Also, it's okay to invite someone to do something with you. Like, if say you're going to this workout class every single time, every single day, right? And you have somebody, but you're talking with them like, oh, like what class are you going to tomorrow? Oh, I'm gonna go to the 9 o'clock class. Oh, like I was thinking about going to the 9 o'clock class too. I'll see you there. Like, there's okay to like make those intentional moments of like, I'm gonna see you again, or or gonna go to church next week, or you go to Bible study tomorrow. Like, it's okay to go farther than the hi, and invite them to do something with you that you both might not both like. If you found that they like coffee, oh, we're gonna try this coffee shop that I've been thinking about trying. There's so many things you can say. Like, these are just few examples if you don't know. And if you need some examples, DM us, DM the Instagram. I have tidbits and things that you can share to people to create that relationship and connection with them. Okay? But also remember too that it does take some level of vulnerability on your side. So once you're actually meeting up with them, you're gonna have to be a tad vulnerable. Now there's levels to it. Now you're not gonna just trauma dump on every single person that you know and tell them your deepest darkest secrets and every bad thing that's happened to you ever in life. But even just sharing like what your favorite TV show is, sharing some like common childhood memories. Those small level of vulnerability allows connections to be formed, because you never know, right? Like a childhood memory, like if I was talking to someone that I know that maybe they grew up around the same time as me, and they kind of maybe watched Disney Channel, right? Maybe talk about Disney Channel. I'm like, oh, yo, did you watch High School Musical? Oh, I loved High School Musical. I had a book, and like you could be open about your level of interest in something, or what you like, or small things like that, so that way you're able to breathe that connection. And maybe it goes from High School Musical to Nickelodeon, like whatever it could be. But it starts from sharing something. And remember that it takes honesty on your part. You can't think that you're gonna develop good friendships if you're a liar. So I'm sorry, but nobody likes a liar. Nobody wants to be friends with someone that lies all the time. So be open and honest, and that's also how you develop trust. Okay? So, and my example for that is I love my friends down. I love my college and my high school friends, that ones I still talk to. I love them down, right? I still talk to them. I still connect with them. We have intentional times of hanging out and meeting up. But I did not have many friends that were in my area that lived near me. So it required me to make some work friends. And I always talk about Annie. She was on the podcast before. But like, that was a friendship. She really told me like, oh, we're going to be best friends. I was like, girl, bye. No, we're not. But I was so super closed off, and she was open to like sharing with me and getting to know me. And I was in the beginning a little more closed off with her. But once we had that time outside of work, and we hung out and we chatted and talked about more interests that we have in common, and realizing that we're basically just almost the same person in many different ways, but it required me to open up with her, so that way she was able to see the different sides of me that she could connect to, and vice versa. So that's just my example there. So I talked a lot about how to grow the friendships, but also once you start building those relationships, it's important to continue to maintain them. So keep asking them to hang out with you, making sure you check in on them. Like, don't be that person that doesn't ever, they never hear from you or anything like that. Reach out to them and talk with them. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, all the time. I know that like there's been discourse on social media about like low maintenance friendship versus high maintenance friendships, and if they're bad and blah blah blah. My thoughts is that every relationship takes some form of something to maintain them, and it's up to you to figure out what you want, what effort you want to put in to maintain that friendship. So just make sure that you are putting in some form of effort. You can't expect people to continuously reach out to you and talk to you if they don't feel that you're also reciprocating. So make sure that if you have, and if that's if you want to. Now if you are not interested in having friendship with that person and you find that they're being annoying, okay, that's different. But if it's someone that you do want to, build and continue to maintain that relationship, make sure that you are following up and following through on the things that you said. Make sure that you're being considerate of who they are and, what they're giving to you, and also give back to them as well. So friendships are not one-sided. It's there's going to be times when they might be going through something and you need to do a little pick-me-up, but just remember that the best friendships, in my opinion, this is my opinion, the best friendships are the ones that you are intentional in developing and maintaining. So just keep that in mind, that it requires energy on your part. That's something that you're wanting to do. It's going to require you to get out your shell. It's going to require you to get out your norm. But that's okay. That's a part of adulthood. It's important to grow and develop and learn more about yourself in this process as you're developing and making new friends. Okay? So that's kind of it for this week's episode. I just want to make sure that, you're not alone in this. Like I said, I talk to my friends about this all the time. I know that there's other people that are entering adulthood. Know that you're not alone. Know that you can do this. And yeah, so you're able to find that commonality amongst each other. Okay? So remember that takes some level of vulnerability. But also, that's it for this week's episode. So C's 2 cents for this week is going to be getting out your comfort zone. Okay? Whether that is saying hi to somebody, whether it's actually starting a conversation with somebody, get out your comfort zone a little bit this week and see what comes with it. Okay? You take my advice or not. That is just my 2 cents. Thanks again so much for listening to this week's episode. If you like anything that you heard, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on whatever you have listened to us on, whether that is YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever it is. Definitely make sure that you also follow us on Instagram at The Honesty Circle with an _ at the end to stay updated on Circle News. Thanks again for listening, and go conquer your week. Bye, guys.